So when it comes to documentation in your essay and MLA in general, we are first of all looking at the format, right? Have you laid out your essay properly? Do you have the right spacing? Where you put the page numbers, where you put your name and all of that. If you're using Achieve, there is a way to do that in Achieve. There's an MLA style builder, and you can watch or read that little document about the writing prompt in Achieve. And I've also kind of gone over that. So again, you can duplicate that in Achieve, or you can copy and paste from Word or something. The second part, though, is about documenting any use of sources. So if you look down here into research, you say that you can use no more than 2 sources. So notice it says can, not must. Now, if I say you must use them, then that you don't have a choice. But here you can choose it if you want, right? And so then I've given you a list of things that are not considered academically credible sources, so you cannot use any of these things or use things in these situations. But again, there's plenty of really great evidence out there that you can use if you feel like you need to. So if you do incorporate outside information, you have a 2-step process. And I'm not going to go into it in depth here because we're going to actually talk about that in one of the other weeks of the unit. But again, I've got an essay or a video transforming into lecture stuff for you guys. Part of that is one works cited page where you list all of the sources, the complete bibliographic record of those sources, the author, the title, the publication information, and all that. But then the second part is where you use the information in the essay itself. You have to give us a parenthetical reference that has the author and the location of the source, usually page number. So again, if you have to have both of those or you do not have complete documentation, and if you remember on the plagiarism quiz, if you have a parenthetical notation but not a works cited entry, then that's plagiarism. If you have a works cited entry but you don't have parenthetical notations, that's plagiarism, right? So we're going to go over that so that if you choose to use something, you're covered. But even so, our next essay, our last essay, is a research paper, so this will help prepare you for that unit. So the presentation, again, revision, edited, proofread, so that it is the best possible writing that you can give me. Audience, again, you need to target a specific audience. Again, it must be a group that is old enough to read a college level essay, right? And the audience has to be obviously related to the issues that you're talking about, and they have to consistently, throughout the essay, focus on that one audience, right? So here are the prompts. You have 5 to choose from. The first one is looking at a danger to some group in society, and that group is either unaware of it, so you're going to argue in a way that says this is a problem and you should be aware of it, or they are aware of it but they don't really consider it threatening, and so your argument is primarily going to be showing them how is it threatening to them, right? So again, try to choose something. It must be something that is still current, but try to choose something that isn't real obvious. I think people understand the dangers of social media. That's a boring essay to write unless you take a slant that's different, because who doesn't understand the dangers that social media has, right? So again, I don't really want to read another essay on that. There are plenty of other topics that you can write about. Or there may be a danger in social media that's fairly new that people aren't that aware of, right? So again, danger can actually be physical danger. It could be mental health related. It could be social status. Maybe it's an economic danger. So again, there's just, danger can cover a whole lot of stuff. And again, social group, think about a particular group, not all Americans, because that's kind of hard to cover all of that. Think about a particular group. It could be something that's related by age. It could be a group that's related by maybe where they work at or what they do for a living. It could be social status. They could be a member of a particular organization. So maybe you want to talk to, union workers or something like that, right? Prompt 2, why does society need more tolerance and how can that improve lives? So tolerance can be about anything, right? It might be talking about racial issues. There might be issues of sexual orientation. There might be issues of people who are separated by class, right? A lot of people look down on the poor or something like that, right? So again, society could cover a whole lot of different areas where we're showing a lack of tolerance. And so think about a particular issue. Don't just say tolerance in general. It needs to be attached to a particular issue. And then why, by being tolerant, can that actually benefit everyone, right? Number 3, should teenagers be concerned about their reputations and why? I think that's pretty obvious, right? And it doesn't say they should. It's asking you to argue, yes, teenagers should be worried about their reputations, or no, not really to this extent, right? So again, I think the issue is that a lot of people don't, if you're young or you're a certain kind of mindset, you don't necessarily think of the future, and so you act in ways that please you right now, but don't necessarily understand the consequences. So that's what that would be about. Number 4, what is the importance of volunteering or doing some type of community service? So again, pretty obvious. Again, think about your audience. What group of people would you like to be talking to? And again, volunteering or community service covers a whole lot of different things. So try to think about, you don't have to think about one particular way of volunteering, but your examples will be from different ways that people that you're targeting could volunteer. And why is that important, right? What is the benefit of doing that? It can be the benefit to themselves, the benefit to the community, the benefit to the group that you're helping. So again, that's what you're looking at there. And the last prompt is, what should societies or schools or society do more to prompt, let me start again. Why should schools or society do more to promote the fine arts? So fine arts here would be music, dance, literature, painting, that kind of stuff, sculpture, etc. So I didn't cover everything there, but you can see kind of what we're looking at, right? And then again, remember, you should either choose school or you should choose society, but you're not going to do both, right? So again, if you're someone who enjoys the fine arts, if you're a practitioner of a fine art, this would be something that would give you a chance to talk to a particular group. So if you're talking to schools, then obviously you're going to be probably talking to people who are in charge of the budget, of funding, of making sure that those classes are there. But you also might be talking to parents, right? So it's anybody that would be part of that decision making. And parents don't necessarily have legal authority, but they certainly have social pressure that they can put to bear to get schools to do more to help with the arts, right? You might be talking to government groups. Society is a little bit more amorphous because school is a very particular context. So this would be anything that's outside of school. Like, what can, your town do, or what should the government do or the state do in terms of, what should individuals do that would promote the fine arts? That might be, attending shows more regularly. It might be helping to support artists or something like that, right? So again, that's what you're doing there. And again, following each of these will have specific examples that show us. So like in number 1, your examples might be context or examples of how this danger is acting in this person's life, this person's sphere of living, their work, their home, their community, right? Ways that it is a danger to them, right? So again, that's what you should be doing in these prompts. So I think you can, again, hopefully everyone should be able to find something that they could write about in these 5 choices. Choose one and get to working on it. So I hope this video helped you understand the assignment. There will be example essays that we'll go over like we did in previous units to kind of show you, some positives and some weaknesses that often time come with student writing when they're trying to do this. So again, look for those. Also, just let me know if you need help. You can schedule an appointment to come in and see me in my office in this glorious space. You can call me and set up a phone call where we can talk on the phone, or you can set up a Zoom appointment where we meet that way as well. And again, I have specific office hours, but I'm also available outside of those times if you contact me ahead of time, and we can find maybe a time when we both can sit down and meet. Obviously, email is another way, but sometimes just a face-to-face, in 10 minutes, we can get something resolved or fix something that might take, half a day or a day of emails back and forth. So don't overlook reaching out and trying to get an appointment with me so we can actually have a nice chat. So have a great day. Bye-bye.